I'm Katherine Adisa. I'm the upper school assistant principal, and I've been here at Chadwick. This is my 7th year. I think there are different kinds of wellness. I think that you have physical wellness, and then you have social emotional wellness as well. So I think physical wellness is making sure that you have all the things you need to be well. So eating right, getting enough sleep, getting outside, getting fresh air, doing things outside of your job that are interesting to you so that you have kind of a work-life balance. And of course that's the same for students as for teachers. And then social emotional wellness, I think, it kind of overlaps in that you need to take care of yourself. You need to do the things that make you feel better. When you're stressed, you need to have kind of a set of de-stressors that you can use to help yourself when you're dealing with difficulties. So I think, having that balance between wellness physically and social emotionally is what I think of wellness. That's an interesting question for me because up to last year I was teaching grades 11 and 12, especially grade 12, and I honestly felt that in many ways being stuck at home, having to take classes remotely, at least part of the time, was actually helpful for grade 12 students. Because they didn't, especially the ones in Seoul, they didn't have to get up really early and take a bus to school. They could sleep in. When I gave the first class of the morning, they often asked if they could participate in the class with the camera off because they were still in bed. And it was fine, and the interactions were good. But I think on the whole, having distance classes made it really difficult for students to focus and made it really obvious that students were definitely struggling with self-management skills because they weren't in the classroom where teachers could tell them, make sure you put that in your book and remember that you have a test. They had to do a lot of it themselves, and I think many of our students struggled because of that. And also I think that because they were home, many students just stayed in the house. They didn't, going back to wellness, they didn't get outside, they didn't do other things. And that constant kind of cycle of on the computer, staring at the screen, and then playing video games maybe, or other things, it just led to a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress for our students. I think students just being here is really good for them. Maintaining social and safety protocols is really important because we're not out of the woods yet. More and more of our students are getting vaccinated, which is a wonderful thing, but we still have to try and maintain distance, and we have to try and keep our masks on at all times. All of those things go toward the health and safety of all of the students. But generally, I think that students are better here. They need to stay on top of their work. They can't let it slide. They need to speak to teachers when they need help. And I think if they do that, they should have a better time of it. Just as an example, though, when I was speaking to a class, I said, I'm noticing in the upper school, the atmosphere is very upbeat. There seems to be a real positive atmosphere in the upper school these days. And one of the students said to me, that's because we're all really grateful to be here. And I think that's the thing. I think we all, teachers as well as students, are really grateful to be here. And I think that the energy, the synergy, if you will, of all of us together creates a better atmosphere for learning.